A big hello and a warm welcome to all of you amazing and beautiful people out there. Welcome to my channel. In this channeling session, we are going to talk about the Divine Feminine's feelings towards naysayers. These are the naysayers who have always told her that she will never get what she wants. And this is also the reason why she's always felt a huge block in her relationship with the Divine Masculine also. Because love, unconditional love or romantic love or the love you get from a partner, even this is a part of the childhood programming that is given to the feminines. If the feminines are told in early childhood that love is a difficult concept or true love is difficult or men are bad and there is no protection given to the child. Now, even though we say that the child's major responsibility goes to the father and the mother both, but this psychologically and in terms of mental programming is not completely correct. And this is the reason why in olden times, the child used to always be very close to the mother. The schooling used to happen much later. Before the age of 7, no child would be sent to the school or anybody else, because that is the time the child gets hugs and kisses and stays in close proximity with the mother. Father becomes the provider. He makes sure that there is enough food, enough requirement, all of things are met in the household. There is no dearth of anything. There are medicines. There is a nice shelter going on. Because back in those days, people were not so greedy materialistically. People did not have so many dreams and desires to fulfill. They did not care about how the society is going to perceive them. Back in those days, and this is the reason why, till many years, even when Dark Ages had come into the world much before, in India it came towards the end. Why? Because India was known as the golden bird. And why was it known as a golden bird? There has to be some reason behind it, right? The reason is people used to study the Vedas, the Upanishads, they used to study the Puranas, and the children were treated with utmost care, respect, dignity. The whole society was based on children. It was not based on patriarchy or matriarchy, but whole focus was on children. How the children are. Are they happy? Are they taken care of? Are they getting all the love and nourishment and nurturing and protection that is needed? And this is also the reason why the mother was worshipped. The mother energy was worshipped in this country because all men and women realized that without the mother's love and affection and her womb, her presence, it's impossible for the child to grow and have a wonderful life ahead. Unfortunately, if some children would lose their mother for whatever reason, maybe during childbirth or any other calamity would happen, at that time, all the other family members, including the grandparents, they would take care of the child fully and deeply. In fact, back in those days, the grandparents used to play a very important role in helping the men and women to raise children. The way of unconditional love. Now, what has been happening in the Dark Ages where the feminines are all getting abused is because the mother and father both are absent. Both are very image conscious, or at least one, most importantly, the mother is very image conscious. This is also the reason why Divine Feminine feels a lot of difficulty with the mother of Divine Masculine. She always has this fear, she may not accept me, she may not acknowledge me, she might be difficult towards me, she would be the reason that we would separate. These are all effects of programming. Why? Because her own mother has not accepted, her own mother has not acknowledged, her own mother doesn't love her the way she should have loved her. So this happens when a narcissistic abuser finds a child, a special child, a sensitive child, and they feel that instead of making this child what it should become, we should use the child for our own good. So the child ends up becoming a slave and they are constantly pleasing other people, constantly pleasing adults, and in many cases also pleasing their abusers, which is a very, very painful thing to do. Imagine you know that somebody is abusing you day in and day out, but you're still pleasing them for their little bit of acknowledgement, little bit of fake affection, or whatever you want to call it. Due to inner work, a lot of divine feminines get out of this trap of codependency. They also learn about toxic femininity, toxic masculinity. When a toxic feminine raises children, she always gives more importance to her favorite child. It could be the son also, because in many cases it is noted that women want to have a male child instead of a female child. Now this is changing with time, and it must change with time, because there is no difference in a man and a woman. And this difference, which is created by the society, this itself leads to rapes, murders, abuse, sexual abuse, child sexual abuse and whatnot. Because a girl child is treated like she is inferior to the men. She is incapable. They are much better because they have physical strength, physical power, or they have a special genital. Some kind of special thing is attached to their genital as an adjective. So this is a very wrong way of treating children. Children should not be made to feel that one is better or one is not. Even if a child is more sensitive, even if a child is more, you can say different, has a little bit of gifts, some kind of talent going on over there, even then the parents should teach the children to believe that everyone is a different individual. Even the one who has some gifts is different individual, and even the one who is more interested in the worldly things, even that is a unique individual. So this uniqueness is missing. This chapter on uniqueness is missing. Now what is happening with inner work is that some of the divine feminines have started understanding that there are certain people in her life who are the naysayers. These people always tell her since childhood that everything that she is doing will be a failure, it will never be a success, she will never get what she wants. And her life, they will put difficulties in her life on purpose. They will leave her alone when she needs them the most, or they will not give her support in front of other people. If there are 10 people who are opposing her and they know that she's right, these people who have lived with her, these people who have gotten raised with her, they know, like siblings who are the proxies of the narcissistic mother, they know that this person is correct and we must support this person. But they are not going to do that. On the contrary, they will take away the support. They will make this person feel like a complete orphan. So the feminine has already gone through all the bad feelings, and when the masculine misunderstands her, when the masculine humiliates her, she feels like, why is he humiliating me? Friends, the reason why we recommend inner work to everyone, every single person on this journey, is because after doing inner work and practicing awareness, you become very conscious and you're very smart about the changes that happen in your emotions on a daily basis. How do you feel when you wake up? How are you feeling in the night time? How do you feel in the afternoon? All throughout the day. How do you feel when you're working? Do you love your job? Do you feel that you are in a work environment where you are able to express yourself fully? Are you allowed to make mistakes? Are you given support? All of these questions you need to ask yourself. Whether it's a personal setup or it's a professional setup, in both cases, one should be allowed to feel free, right? Now, she has also noticed in all these days that there has been a certain amount of punishment she receives, or she has been receiving ever since she was growing up, for being who she is. And whether it is the narcissistic abuser, the adult who has been abusing her for so many years, but even the proxies apply this punishment rule with her. It could be her, it could be him, depends on the gender. Because in some cases the feminine energy is in men, and because their mother energy is heightened, they are more sensitive, more conscious, more aware, so the mother energy works for them. The mother energy is actually a gift, because maximum people on earth, especially who are living in the 3D reality, they have the warrior energy. And it takes good amount of work to revive your mother energy. So there are obviously a lot of men who have this feminine energy, the Shakti energy in them, and their divine counterparts, they have the masculine energy, the Shiva energy. So the feminine, whether it's a man or a woman, realizes that every time they try to be themselves, they try to be their real selves, or they try to express their pain or anger, the narcissistic abuser and their proxies, they punish this person. They punish like they would do certain mean things to them, which if anyone else would be doing the same things, if any other person in the same family politics, in the same scenario, in the same workplace, or in the same whatever circle they are in, if they are doing the same things that these people are doing, they would not be punished at all. They would not be punished, and they would not be treated the same way. They would not be given the pain of neglect and ignore. So neglect, ignore, no contact, these are the tools that narcissistic abusers use all the time. Please understand, these are common tools used all over the world. And this is the reason why the narcissistic abuser parent, they ignore the child. They ignore the child. Even when the child expresses their anger or discomfort or grief or any such emotion that makes them uncomfortable, the narcissistic abuser uses the tricks or the techniques that stops them from expressing their pain. Now, this is a punishment. This is called trying to make a person feel desensitized to that pain or to that negative emotion that makes them uncomfortable. The narcissistic abuser, the parent or the caretaker, whosoever it was, in the childhood they were giving the feminine silent treatment, lot of neglect. Every time the feminine would question that this is not right, or I don't want to do this doesn't seem feasible, anything of that sort, or she would cry out of discomfort, the narcissistic abuser could even beat up the child, or they could just give the child completely they would ignore the child for a good number of days or some time. This places the abuser in a position of control. And since the child is very young, it's not an adult, it's not a person who knows what is right and wrong. Secondly, what they also do is they try to avoid any conflict by becoming completely silent, or they'll completely neglect them. They will act like it's not their responsibility. Whatever negative feeling they are going through, whatever pain they are going through, whatever suppression, repression they are feeling because of the way they have been treated, all of that is none of their responsibility. In reality, for the children, it's always the parents who are responsible, whether they like it or not, whether they want to accept it or not. Now, those people who are working on their inner wounds, working on their inner child, if they become parents, they will understand it really well. They will be extremely responsible, very careful. They are not going to do any dramatic behavior in front of the child, or they are not going to make the child walk on the path of falsehood, not giving them any false expectations, and not also repressing them. They would always make the child feel that they can do whatever they want. All their dreams, everything is achievable. All of the things they want is possible with the help of source and with the help of faith. But a narcissistic abuser would never tell the child, even if they are religious, even if they follow rituals, even if for the society they pretend that they are really God-fearing, they would never put the child in touch with God. Or they would, even if there is some master in between, they would make sure that the child is totally under their control. They would literally make the child do everything that they want them to do. And due to inner work, this changes a lot. This type of dynamic changes. The child who is now an adult doesn't want to listen to them, won't believe them, won't share anything with them. So the naysayers, they lose the power. Because a lot of divine feminines have also told me during therapies or during readings that they are stuck with something for years. They want to start a business of their own, or they want to start a blog of their own, or they want to just share, or they want to do a certain type of job, or they have certain thing in their mind, their dream, their goals, their desires. None of that gets completed. That's because constantly they are surrounded by naysayers, and constantly they are surrounded by those people who make them feel that they cannot achieve whatever they want to achieve. It's impossible for them to achieve because of whatever reasons. It could be lack of resources. They would pretend that they don't have any money to help this divine feminine who's trying to get some support. Most of the times the divine feminines only need verbal support, or only need that thing that, that pat on their shoulders, like, yeah, you're gonna do it, man. They don't really need money if this type of support is there. But the naysayers would tell her that you don't have enough money, without investment, without this, without that, how can you start any work, any project? It's impossible. Or they would tell her that you lack in some ways. You lack in some ways, because of which you can never fulfill any of your goals, dreams and desires. And love, my dear friends, love is one of those things. They keep telling the feminines that you are unlucky in love, or now it's your age, now it's your time. They don't tell the feminine that her age, or whatever the right age for marriage is, for engagement is, for a relationship is, all that time actually went into becoming a slave for the narcissistic abuser. The narcissistic abuser, why do they ignore? There is another reason. Because even in the narcissistic lovers, like a lot of people face this from the divine masculines, that the divine masculines suddenly go out of the sight. They go out of the sight, they are not available, they are not talking, they are not responding, they are not picking up the calls, nothing. Why do they do this? Because the target or the victim, who actually possesses emotional intelligence, they have empathy. At least they have empathy, humanity, which is called insaniyat. Insaniyat, insan means human in Urdu language. So at least somebody has insaniyat, that they are reaching out to you, or they want to talk it out, or they want to share something. But these narcissistic abusers, they think that, when we are going to ignore this person will come begging to me, and that, in exchange, that actually lifts their ego a lot. Because when the victim tries to pacify, they put all their hopes into it, So they don't want to, basically they don't have any interest. Once they feel that the maximum supply has been taken from a person, they will so easily discard. And it can be anyone. It can be a mother, it can be a father, it can be a lover, it can be a best friend, it can be a sibling. All these people are very much capable of discarding the divine feminine like the drop of the hat, once they know that nothing can be achieved, nothing can be consumed from this person. It's done. So what happens after that? This type of deafening silence, this type of ignoring, this type of neglect, this type of inhuman behavior now makes the victim itself, the one who got abused, reach out to the narcissistic person. Like, they want to talk to them, they want to call them, they'll email them, they'll text them, or they will try a lot to clear the problems, clear the air, what exactly is happening. They will feel that I am at fault, because this is the pattern they were grown up in, they were raised in the same pattern. Every time the feminine, as a child, be it a boy or a girl, doesn't matter, every time the feminine would raise their voice against something, or would tell their parents, the abuser especially, that I am going through this problem, I felt like this, or I felt like that, the abuser would totally be like, ignore this kid, neglect this kid. And if by chance they have other children, they would love the other children a lot. They would pamper the other children so much that this ignored kid would feel even worse. And don't you see the same pattern? This is what divine masculine does. Even when he says that I am commitment phobic, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that, just to show his weight, just to show that he is emotionless, he doesn't care, he would pick up a karmic. immediately, to show it off to the feminine that I can do without you. I can do very well without you. Okay? This is a trick. This is a trick that most narcissistic abusers use. They always do this without fail. And once the empath has reached that point and that place where they are super relaxed and they understand these mind games and they understand what the narcissistic abusers do, which is exactly what the energy of this channeling also is. In this channeling session, according to this energy, the divine feminine doesn't even give a rat's ass to such people. It could be the masculine, it could be the parents, it could be the mother or the father or the siblings or the neighbors or anyone who's trying to play this game of control, or even a friend in a social setup. You also attract narcissistic abusers in social setups. These are available, present everywhere. And they are always acting like the victim, always the victim. They are the ones who keep falling sick. They are the ones who keep having excuses. They are the ones who never take any responsibility, but they always question other people. Have you fulfilled your responsibility? Have you done this work? Have you done that work? They will always have a timetable. They'll always have some parameters and a threshold for to prove that yes, I deserve your time, I deserve your love, I deserve your affection, I deserve your attention. But the healed feminine is like, I don't care and I don't give a damn. To hell with you and your control and your manipulation and your mind games. You can tell me no 1,000 times, but now I know that I can pull it off. I can do it. One of the biggest freedoms, the essence of freedom, comes when the feminines become independent, and when they start walking on the path where they start enjoying their alone time and solitude. They no longer feel the need that I need someone else to love me or fulfill me. And if someone is playing all these mind games or trying to act smart with them, or playing this game of punishment, of neglect, of ignore, of this, of that, then too they will be like, all right, this is it. I don't want to be a part of it. Please find someone else to play these games. And if they feel bad that I'm going to lose out on someone, they will also realize, they'll also have this type of memory that, so what if I lose this person? At least I'm not going to get abused anymore. I can be all by myself, because this is the big illusion they give to this abuser. The abused person, the victim, that you cannot survive without us. You need us. You need to get abused by us in order to be successful. But any which way, there is no success. There is no success in relationships. There is no success in work. There is no success in friendships. There is no success in mission work. So what is the point? What is the point of all this? It's better I be alone and do something worthwhile out of my life. Okay, so in this session, according to this energy, the feminine has taken the control back from the narcissistic abusers, and they can do whatever the hell they want. They can play all the games in their free time. She doesn't care. She doesn't want to reach out to them. She's not going to write any more emails, messages, phone calls, nothing. She's not going to go and have a face-to-face conversation with them. Hey, what happened? Why are you upset with me? And definitely she's not going to say sorry, because she has been saying sorry even when she has not been at fault. Alright, so on this note, I would be closing this channeling session, and I apologize for the any sounds in the background. There is some construction work going on, and I don't think they're going to stop. I waited for one whole day. So thank you so much for being here with me. Please ignore these sounds just the way you are now able to ignore the narcissistic abusers. Eventually, they will fade away. So one love and peace out.